Hey guys, my name is Shubham Kejriwal and today in this video I'm gonna talk to you guys about my experience as an Amity interviewee. So yes, after applying to 9 universities abroad and after getting rejected from 8 of them, my self-esteem and my self-confidence digged so much deep into the earth and hit somewhere that I went ahead and applied for Amity University. Yeah, I did that, and today was my interview round for the Amity University, the whole selection process. I just received a message from Amity University that I have been selected for the university for the 4-year BSc Physics course at the university. So now that I know that I have been selected in that university, I wanted to share my experience and the way in which I presented myself in front of the interviewer, and I just wanted to share the whole experience with you guys in short. Let me get this clear that everything and anything that I would be telling you guys would be specific to Amity University, which is in Noida sector 125. Because I haven't applied to any other of the Amities, I really don't know how their procedure goes. Although it should be pretty similar, I cannot guarantee you that you would be getting exactly the same experience as I got. So yeah, please keep in mind if you are watching this video and have applied to any other Amity. So first of all, let me talk about the things that I took with myself and what I would recommend you guys to be taking with yourself for the selection process. So I took a lot of stuff with myself. I took my ID proof, I took my 9th, 10th and 11th grade final mark sheet, I took my 12th grade midterm mark sheet, and I also took a certificate of merit. So these are the things that I took, along with a photo ID proof of myself too. And these all things are pretty much unnecessary. So take a pen and an admit card, and that should be pretty much it. So now that you are clear with all that you have to take to the admissions office, let me now brief you out about my experience throughout the day. So in the starting, we were supposed to group at the admissions block of the Amity University at gate number 3, and then we were told to make a line at around 9 o'clock in the morning. And then we were sent to the reception at the admissions office, from where we were registered using our admit cards, which is a very important part, by the way. Do not forget to take a hard copy of your admit card. It is a really important thing that you need to carry with yourself, because the whole admissions procedure, the whole procedure of your interview is based on that barcode on the side of your admit card. Anyways, coming back to the point, once you are registered and you go downstairs in the basement, you have to get your biometrics registered. I don't know why they want our biometrics, but they do for some reason. So they take your biometric details, and then you are allowed to sit in a room, which is a big auditorium honestly. All of the applicants which appeared at that day for the interview and all of that selection process, they were supposed to sit in that particular room. And there is the first step of your selection process. There you have to give this English proficiency test, which is of 60 marks of 60 questions, and in my opinion you do not have to worry about it at all. I mean, after coming from a level where I have given TOEFL examination and SAT EBRW section and scored fairly in those sections, it was pretty easy for me. But even if you haven't had any previous experience with high level English examinations, I think you should be pretty fine with the examination of this sort, because it was a really low level examination. It was a half-an-hour test, and I took personally just about 10 to 15 minutes to get it completed. But you don't have to worry about it. It's just a protocol that they have to follow, and the marks don't even matter really. So after the English proficiency test was over, the procedure for interviews began. So it started somewhere around 11 or 12 o'clock, and it went all the way until 6 p.m. in the evening. So yeah, it was a really long procedure because there were tons and tons of students there. But don't worry, if you have been selected for being interviewed at that particular date, you can be sure that you would be interviewed no matter what. They would not send you back because of time limitations, is what I'm trying to say. You would be interviewed. Maybe you have to wait till the very end like I did. I mean, I was the second last person to be interviewed. So as I was waiting for my name to be called for the interview, they called for lunch. About 1 p.m. in the afternoon, they called for lunch, and then we had our lunch. It was absolutely moderate kind of lunch, not too good, not too bad. And then around 4 o'clock, I was called for an interview. So starting at 9 a.m. in the morning, I was called for the interview later at around 4 o'clock. So that's how long I had waited for my name to be called. and I met a lot of people in that room. Till then I had people to chat around with, but still it was a really long while for which I had to wait for. Do make sure if you have Netflix or something to download 2 to 3 episodes of something, and do make sure to take your earphones with you, because you might have to wait for a really long time before you have been called for interview. So when I lined up for my interview outside the interview room, 5 students were in front of me, so it took another hour for those guys to be done so that I can give my interview. And I was the second last person. Just one other person other than me was standing behind me, and he was the last person to give the interview, and I was the second last. So I was just noting time at this moment as to how long each interview lasted. So on an average it was taking around 10 minutes. So I was prepared to be speaking continuously for 10 minutes, and when my name was called at exactly 4 o'clock, I checked my watch. It was exactly 4 o'clock. I was called in there. So I went in there, and guess what? The interview was over in 3 minutes and I still got selected. So yeah, what I want to say is the duration of the interview doesn't really matter, because all they want is to, as quickly as possible, get to know you as much as they want to, and then once they are convinced that you are good enough for Amity, which is, by the way, any candidate. So once they are done with that, once they have been convinced about that, they would let you go. So now let us talk about the questions which were asked to me in the interview. So as I entered the interview room, I realized that there were 2 interviewers, one male and one female interviewer, and the male interviewer was asking the questions and the female interviewer was noting something down, maybe the points about the student or something like that. So I noticed that, and I greeted both of them, and then we got started with the interview. Starting with the first thing, they asked me to introduce myself. So I gave the general description about myself, told my name, told that I have just given the exams for 12th grade, told that I have a really big affection for physics, and then they asked how I developed my interest for physics. I went ahead and told everything and anything that I had in my mind as to how something major might have helped me in developing my interest of physics. I told them about that, and then they asked me about my favorite topics in physics. I mean, in something specific that I might have in physics. I think they might be wanting me to speak something about higher level topics like quantum mechanics or astrophysics or something like that. But I spoke about 11th grade topics because those were the topics that made me fall in love with physics in the first place. So I talked about those topics, and then the male interviewer asked me a few questions about them, and I discussed them with both of them. And then the interview was over pretty much. They just told me that okay, you can go. I greeted them and I just got out, looking at my watch that it was 4:03 p.m. In conclusion, what I would say is that you should definitely not be at all worried about the selection process, at least at Amity University, specifically Noida sector 125. It was a really smooth and easy and a very simple process, and I think you shouldn't be having any kind of problem to go through the process and to be getting selected at Amity University. And that's basically it for what I had for you guys in this video. I have also applied to Ashoka University in India, and if I get selected for the interview round, I would definitely be making another video describing how that experience was for me. And if you guys are interested in knowing more about that, you could subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave any comments that you have in the comment section down below. That said, thank you so much for watching. My name is Shivam Kejriwal, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.